welcome to this video in which we're going to be talking about Breaking Dawn Part 2, Jacob's point of view. We already did a video on Bella's point of view as a human, the wedding, the honeymoon, the getting pregnant. So if you want to check that video out, just go here or to the channel. There are more videos we've done on the entire Twilight saga, but you don't have to watch them to enjoy the Breaking Dawn videos. But I do recommend that you go watch part 1, but you can jump in here if that's what you want. Welcome to Honestly Twilight. This is Josephine.
And this is Grind.
Part 2, Jacob's point of view. Forgive me, but I'm eating chocolate.
Never. Maybe you noticed I didn't care too much about Jacob.
I thought Jacob was your favorite character.
Yes!
All furry and huggable and so fun.
I think maybe Twilight is the reason I don't really care for pets. No.
Damn.
That's putting too much significance on him as a person. When book 2 came around and it says Jacob, I wrote, I just don't want to. He's just a lost cause for me. I don't care at all. And that was my feeling throughout this whole part of the book. What I did like is his titles. His chapter titles.
Yeah, his chapter titles are fun.
They're really good. And funnily enough, Jacob doesn't have a content. And you can think about that.
Oh.
Bella does, but Jacob doesn't. I don't know if it's to show that you can predict the future for werewolves. If it is, it's clever.
You think that so much thought went into that?
I don't know, but I thought it was funny. Chapter 17 is called, What Do I Look Like? The Wizard of Oz? You need a brain? You need a heart? Go ahead, take mine, take everything I have. We get new information about Jacob, especially about what happens to his mom. It's very short, but I thought it was significant knowing that Bella and Edward never talked about what happened to Jacob's mom. She died in a car accident.
Why should they talk about what happened to his mom?
Their best friend, for fuck's sake.
Oh yeah, okay. But you said Bella and Edward.
Oh!
Okay, so Bella and Jacob should have...
I already repressed the memory of Jacob. I did this too when I told...
So, Twilight, in Josephine's mind, Twilight is a love triangle between Edward, Bella...
and furry Edward. No, I don't think so. It's just... Oh man. I don't know why I should read this.
I liked it.
I'm not coming back. The Midnight Sun episode is super
It's cancelled. I think I have a very high tolerance for bullshit characters. Also, like a lot of people don't like Harry Potter.
But he doesn't add anything. Neville Longbottom.
But
he added so much.
But think of Neville Longbottom is not an asshole. I will have you take that back.
But he's a minor character and he mattered a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know what Jacob mattered for.
He imprints on her daughter.
Because apparently what they're saying in the end of New Moon and throughout Eclipse is that Edward would have been coming back no matter what. And then when he would have seen the catatonic state that Bella was in, he would have been with her. So why the fuck is Jacob in the book? Okay, you like him. I'm trying to persuade you otherwise.
I think you're putting too much pressure on him having to play some kind of role in the story when nobody really is playing any role. Like, there's not a lot of stuff happening here except what's happening emotionally. So I get that. I think you would be more satisfied if in New Moon, as we talked about in the New Moon video, Bella has a moment where she seriously considers trying to like Jacob and get involved with him romantically.
If Eclipse was about that.
Let's
she chose to be with Jacob, Edward coming back, and then she's being conflicted.
Exactly. That I think that's what you're missing here. Mm-hmm. If Alice had come back a month later than she did, and Bella had gotten to be with Jacob for like a month, and she would have come back and she would have gone to save Edward anyway, but she would then have been conflicted about whether to be with him again. Like, obviously she would have gone to save him because it's Bella and she's gonna go save like.
Everybody who needs her gets a piece of Bella.
Yes, exactly. So she would have gone to save him, but Eclipse would have been more interesting if Jacob had been a choice.
She's depending on him for life and death, and she's his whole world now. Like, he disappears when he finds out she's going to get married, and then he comes back, and now he's unhappy, and he can't refuse her when she's lying there being weak and pregnant and dying of the pregnancy. And then we found out that we've never heard them talk about his heartbreak over his dead mother. And I find that peculiar, because how good friends are they? That's such a major part of who you are. Typically are your parents. It's not even spoken about in New Moon. So that was what, like, popped into my eyes.
Interesting that he doesn't, like, she dies in a car crash. Interesting that Jacob doesn't have any problems in New Moon with Bella, like, going off on bikes.
Interesting. Maybe because this was an afterthought, I don't know.
I mean, it seems like an afterthought. I think that's why they haven't talked about it before this. Why is it even that he's thinking about her dying in a car crash?
He's thinking about how the Cullens are going to explain how Bella died.
Ah, yeah, okay. And it feels like an afterthought.
And then he says, a car crash like my mother happens all the time. And then we later on explained how his sisters have a hard time being in the house after the mom's death because they're older and they have more memories of her, and being in the house without her pains them.
In that way, if Jacob doesn't really remember her, it makes sense that he doesn't have as many feelings.
He remembers her.
It seems like he has less feelings about her. I'm just thinking it's an interesting parallel to Bella, who's also like kind of disconnected from her mother. Her mother is alive, but they're not emotionally.
Or have been disconnected from Charlie, maybe.
Yeah.
Through both Renee's choice and Bella's choice. That she's only been with Charlie in the summer. It's like 2 months. Tops.
For 2 weeks every year.
That's 2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
She's been with her for the 2 weeks every year, and she's had no relationship with him, and she comes to Forks and she actually builds up kind of a beautiful relationship, and he takes on the responsibility of being her full-time parent. Yeah, but they never speak about that either. So I just thought it was curious.
So with Jacob as a POV character, first of all, this part would not have worked from either Bella or Edward's perspective. It works well from Jacob's perspective because he's the one who figures out that the werewolves want to kill Bella, and he breaks off from the pack, creates his own pack, and is the one who has the whole emotional thing going on here. Because he finally ends, he repeatedly thinks about how he wishes he would imprint on someone so he would be free of the emotions of Bella. And he even goes out to try to imprint on some ladies. He's the one with the emotional arc.
Does he grow? No.
But that's the thing with Twilight. People don't grow. Things happen that force you into something. Bella is just forced to love Edward because she just loves him, and Edward just loves Bella, and they're just changed by that. And the same thing with Jacob and Renesmee. He was sad because the woman he loved didn't want him. And then Renesmee comes along, and he's absolved of that hatred and anger and sadness. So the whole thing with Twilight is that nobody really does anything to actively change. They are changed by things that happen outside.
Jacob is changed actually by I think so, by being his own alpha.
I think he becomes a lot more likable from doing that.
Exactly.
And he starts to like the vampires, and
he matures some.
And I think if, let's say, Bella had died, I don't think he would have killed Edward.
I don't think so either, actually.
Because Jacob wants to kill Edward if Bella dies, and Edward is like, I'm counting on that, and Jacob's like, you can count on that. But it really seems like he wouldn't do that. He starts to like Edward.
Before we go into that, I have a problem with how he becomes an alpha. So Sam is called Sam Yulee, and we've known since, I think it's New Moon, but I'm not sure. But we know that Ephraim Black, Jacob's grandfather, was the last alpha. Apparently, then Jacob inherited the alpha. I don't get it. So when he says to Sam, Ephraim Black's son was not born to follow Levi Yulee's. I don't get it. I thought it was so cruel. Like saying that Sam was a lesser being.
So the real problem with the whole Ephraim Black and lineage thing is that instead of using the argument that it's wrong to kill Bella, or just using the fact that he is Ephraim Black's grandson and that he has the power to break free, like that would be enough. But I agree that he didn't need to also say that.
Like, his pedigree is better than Sam's.
Yeah.
So therefore, he is the natural leader of order. I don't know. Yeah,
But I like that the story doesn't end with him just taking over and Sam no longer being an alpha. There are 2 packs now. So I like that. I like that Sam isn't just pushed out.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about Leia and Seth.
Yeah, that's the best part of Jacob's bit.
Yeah,
Leia
Leia
and
and
Seth.
Yeah, they're great. Seth is just the purest human being
Even
to walk this earth.
I think Edward says that Seth's soul is the purest thing he's ever, or mind.
Yeah,
It's the purest thing he's ever mind read.
But of course, if he had heard Bella's mind, that would be the purest thing ever, right?
I don't think so. No.
No,
She's dirty, yo.
my point is just that he would have said that.
Oh, he would.
So Seth is great and he's fun. So he's good without it being without edges. Like it's not just like, oh, he's just sweet to everyone. Like he likes the vampires. He sees that it's wrong to attack them, and he decides to stand on the side that's with the vampires.
He likes to hang out with them too. I don't know why he likes that more than the wolves. It seems like he's gravitating to that through the book. Or maybe it's because Edward regarded him as a grown-up. So when they were fighting,
I was just about to say that they're equals.
Yeah, when they fight in Eclipse, he lets him fight actually. And then Lear is so interesting. So we learned that Lear was once very much in love with Sam and probably still is. And Lear now has to share every thought about Sam when she's in wolf form, and she also has to deal with Sam's non-reciprocating love for her, right? When Sam is saying, you guys come here, or you guys stop, she wins. She doesn't like that. She doesn't like to be included in the guys because she so obviously is a woman.
Yeah, and also because she has lost her womanhood. And we find out that Leia has lost her period, which is a big thing for her and not something the other werewolves are very empathetic about.
They don't want to deal with her at all.
They are so mean to her.
Exactly.
And I really, really like, we have like 2 or 3 conversations where Jacob and Leia are talking. And we just get to know her so much better. And I really like the development of Leia's and Jacob's friendship. And I have to say, I'm kind of team Leia and Jacob.
I wasn't. She was too good for him.
Yeah, okay. She doesn't want to be a werewolf. She wants to just be a regular human being, so she wants to go back to doing that.
Yeah.
I think she's going to eventually come around.
And she's also calling Jacob out on his bullshit. She's
like,
so you're in love with Bella, get the fuck over it.
Yeah.
Like, deal with it, feel your heartbreak, and then do something about it. She's actually the one suggesting him to do, like, go out and find someone else.
Yeah.
Try to imprint, maybe. That she gets how imprinting erased the other feelings.
And she's also very, in spite of the fact that Leia is the one who hates vampires the most of all of Jacob's pack, she's the one who's like, I get Rosalie. And I really, really like that part where she's like, Rosalie is protecting her not because she wants Bella to die or steal the baby, but because that's what she would want us to do for her. Yeah. All of us would want that to be done for us. That's the last thing that happens in Bella's first part, is that she calls Rosalie and she asks for her help to protect the baby from Edward and Carlisle. And that's actually...
No, I want to say something about Lear before you do that segue, which was so amazing. I would just like to say that Lear also goes into the Collins house, which she doesn't want to be in.
Yeah.
She goes in there and she berates Bella. She just gives her the full smack on, telling her, you fucking mean to Jacob, stop it, you're leading him on, how can you be so cruel, concentrate on your vampire husband and your child, probably, I don't know what Leah said, because we're not told, but...
Which sucks!
Yes, and Edward just says that Leah was unnecessarily harsh. I'm not going to pretend that I understand why Bella is unable to let go of you, Jacob, but I do know that she does not behave this way to hurt you. She suffers a great deal over the pain she's inflicting on you and on me by asking you to stay. What Leah said was uncalled for. Bella's been crying. And I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, even though Bella wants to hold on to Jacob, she just does not need to cuddle with him. She wants to sit beside him on the sofa with his arm draped around her, and it's just not okay.
But Renesmee is inside her.
But Bella is not in enough pain to like say to Jacob, like, she wants him to be there. That's one thing. But why does he have to touch her? Why does she
that's
have
the
to touch him?
Renesmee. That whole thing grows as Renesmee grows within her. The more pregnant she becomes with Renesmee, the stronger the attraction between Renesmee and Jacob becomes.
Especially for Jacob.
So the problem here is, how are you going to look at this through the lens of Renesmee is creating this attraction between them? Or are you going to look at through the lens of...
But it just erases...
It erases, yeah, exactly.
Half a book.
Yeah. We're not fans of the imprinting. For those of you who don't remember, werewolves will sometimes see a girl and just imprint on her. He will fall in love with her, and now she's what's holding him to the earth, not gravity. And that's what Jacob does with Renesmee, Bella and Edward's child.
Mm-hmm. So then go into your nice segue. That's what all I want to
Yeah,
say
okay,
about here.
so Rosalie. There was so much potential for growth for Rosalie here because she is on the fucking page. It's not like Emmett or Jasper who's not there. Like, what little we see of Jasper after Bella becomes a vampire is great. Every little part we see of him adds something to his character. But Rosalie here, why does she have to be so mean? I mean, it really feels like she's just there to get the baby from Bella. I mean, at least because we have that scene where Jacob is looking like he's thinking that Rosalie is just doing it for the baby, and then Edward is like he nods as if he hears his thoughts, which he does, and then Jacob is thinking that she probably doesn't care if Bella dies, and then Edward nods again. And why do you need to do that? Like, couldn't it have been a bit more complex? Like, Rosalie is actually appreciating Bella making the right choice, and she doesn't want Bella to die. She knows that Edward will be very sad, but at the same time, Rosalie would want the child for herself, and they're growing more connected throughout. Bella having this child, and Rosalie maybe appreciating that now, in a way, she's having a real sister because they're together about... Like, you have so many complex emotions, and it wouldn't take more time. It's just the way you did it, the way it was done in Breaking Dawn, made Rosalie a fucking monster.
And a bodyguard. She's nothing more than a bored bodyguard.
Yeah. So I really thought Rosalie was done bad here, and because I talked about in the Eclipse movie, the scene with Rosalie and Bella in this book is so great because it's complex. And we see that Rosalie, it's not that she hates Bella, it's just that she totally disagrees with her.
No, I actually thought it was great she was a bitch. I liked it. I actually did.
What did you like? I mean, you like that she was okay with Bella dying.
But she isn't. That's just their assumption.
But Edward knows that. It's the fact that I don't mind that Jacob assumes it. It's that Edward confirms it. He nods to those thoughts. I
think that we need to know that Edward doesn't know everything. He just hears thoughts. Sometimes you also analyze those thoughts. Yes, the priority is the baby, and if Bella has to die for that process, then that's it. But Rosalie is into that plan that Bella is going to be transformed a vampire I just
wish that had been shown more, and I wish that when Bella becomes a vampire that
they hug it out.
Yeah, that we saw we're together about it. Like,
yeah, Rosalie,
we're gonna spend eternity together. Like, we're sisters now. We saved the baby, and
Rosalie's like a glorified babysitter.
Yeah.
Good enough when Bella was transforming.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah. True. I see where you're at, but I actually really like a good old bitch.
I don't mind that she's a bitch.
Okay.
I love that about her. I just and I don't mind that her first priority is the baby. And as you say, if Bella has to die, then that's it. And they agree about that. And that's Bella's priorities as well, so that's fine. It's the fact that the story makes it seem like she just doesn't care, and I don't believe that. I don't believe that she doesn't care that Edward loses the love of his life and will probably kill himself if Bella dies, or spend the rest of his life with Renesmee as a depressed parent. I just don't believe that she doesn't care Bella dies. I just don't believe that, and the story makes it seem that way.
Yeah.
I would have liked to actually see her and Bella care for each other. Like, there's that one scene where they're talking about baby names, and Rosalie is like really into. You could have shown those things, or like they could have talked about how are we gonna dress the baby, or like. Or Rosalie could have been like, Bella, you might not survive this. Because she's Rosalie and she cares about the baby, she should care, like, don't you want to write something down for the baby in case you die or something? Like, Rosalie should be that supporting character, and she just isn't. And I think that that's a missed opportunity. And as I said, I don't think that would have taken more time. It's just the time spent on Rosalie could have had a different angle. Is that what we have to say about part 2?